In our noisy, hectic world, the power of silence is often overlooked or undervalued. Yet this profound practice, dating back to ancient Stoic philosophy, could be one of the greatest skills we learn for living a life of peace, wisdom, and success. And today we'll explore 9 key situations where embracing silence, as advised by Stoic thinkers, can be truly life-changing. Number 1. When unfairly criticized. Have you ever been on the receiving end of unfair criticism at work from a friend or family member? According to Stoic philosophy, being unjustly criticized is actually a unique opportunity to grow stronger and show integrity. The famous Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "If any external thing causes you distress, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now." Think about that insight for a moment. What often bothers us about criticism isn't the actual words, but how we choose to perceive and respond to them. Imagine you're leading an important project at work, and your boss harshly criticizes your efforts, even though you've done excellent work. A Stoic response would be to calmly evaluate the feedback, finding any useful insights while disregarding negative comments not based on facts. Staying silent when unfairly criticized isn't a passive act. It's a strategic choice to embody Stoicism's call to focus on what we can control, our responses and attitudes. This quiet strength turns potential conflict into a sign of your personal resolve and philosophical dedication. As you navigate life's difficulties, consider how silence can help you maintain composure. Number 2, in the midst of boastful behavior. Now let's imagine you're at a networking event and a colleague is incessantly bragging about their recent promotion, fancy car, or expensive lifestyle. You might feel tempted to counter their bravado with your own accomplishments and possessions. Here, Stoicism teaches us the power of restraint. By choosing quiet in these situations, you keep your cool and allow others' words to reveal their character. This way, you conserve your energy for more meaningful conversations. As a wise Stoic philosopher said, "He who does not wish to be out-rivaled by greater benefits should not try to return one benefit with another. Rather, he should return many at once." In real life, this means you needn't respond to empty boasts with words, but with the quiet grace of your actions and the quality of your character. Think about it. How often do you find yourself trying to one-up someone else's success story with one of your own? What might happen if you instead chose to listen fully, acknowledging their accomplishments with a nod or a smile, while keeping your focus on your own virtues and goals? Accepting Stoic quiet in the midst of boastful behavior is a way to live a life not marked by petty competition, but by genuine happiness and inner success. It creates an atmosphere where we can thrive peacefully and feel secure in our self-worth, rather than seeking validation through comparative measures. Number 3, when anger arises. Anger is a powerful emotion that can feel like a raging storm, sweeping away reason and calm. But in the midst of that turbulence, Stoic philosophy offers us a safe harbor, a moment of silence that helps us deal with those intense feelings in a productive way. The famous Stoic Epictetus advised, "Keep silence for the most part and speak only when you must, and then briefly." Now imagine a frustrating day at work when a colleague's mistake causes you hours of extra labor. Your first instinct might be to lash out angrily, but what would happen if you chose silence instead? By not reacting in anger immediately, you give yourself time to think about the situation more objectively. This pause can prevent the conflict from escalating further and lead to more constructive solutions rather than heated arguments. The Stoic Marcus Aurelius offers this wise advice in his writings. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? This thought prompts us to consider what often happens after we unleash an angry outburst. the effects are usually far worse than whatever originally provoked our ire. Using silence when angry doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but choosing a response aligned with your highest values and principles. This practice not only improves your inner peace, but can lead to better relationships and greater success as you learn to navigate life's inevitable frustrations with poise. Number 4, when jealousy arises. We've all likely experienced bouts of jealousy at some point, that corrosive feeling that can arise when a friend, colleague, or peer accomplishes something we haven't, or possesses some perceived advantage we lack. Unchecked, jealousy can breed resentment, self-pity, and even harm important relationships. Yet Stoicism provides a wise prescription for dealing with envious emotions through intentional silence and self-reflection. The ancient Greek thinker Epictetus astutely observed, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This timeless insight gets at the heart of why jealousy so often plagues us. We mistakenly view external achievements or attainments as the sources of true happiness and worth. But the Stoics taught that lasting joy and fulfillment flow not from circumstance or comparison, but from cultivating an unshakable sense of purpose, virtue, and self-control within oneself. Jealousy ultimately signals lack of inner peace. So when you find yourself consumed with jealous thoughts towards someone else's success or possessions, Stoicism advocates a purposeful return to silence and self-awareness. In these moments, conscious silence, short periods of quiet meditation or journaling can be powerful purgatives for jealous impulses. They create the mental space to regain perspective, while allowing insecure thoughts or emotional pain points to surface, be examined objectively, and ultimately released. Number 5, dealing with loss and grief. One of life's most profound challenges is dealing with loss. Whether it's the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, job loss, or any major life transition. In the silence that often follows such losses, we can feel a great void filled with sadness, confusion, and pain. But Stoicism offers a unique perspective on navigating grief. The famous author C.S. Lewis, who chronicled his own bereavement journey after losing his wife in A Grief Observed, poignantly wrote, "The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before." Lewis's insight shows that the Stoics believed our experiences, both joyful and sorrowful, are part of a larger natural flow of life, and that love and loss will always be intertwined. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca echoed this, writing, "The day which we fear as our last is but the birthday of eternity." Consider how your perspective on loss might shift if you viewed it not as an ending, but as a transition. What might you gain by accepting the silence that follows, giving yourself time and space to deeply think, feel, and ultimately heal? After his wife's death, Lewis didn't try to fill that void with rushed explanations or distractions. Instead, he used the silence for profound self-reflection and catharsis, embodying the Stoic belief that life's hardships can be powerful catalysts for personal growth. His written journey through grief reveals how keeping a calm, present mind can help us bear even the deepest emotional pain, and ultimately turn that anguish into a richer understanding of life's fragility and beauty. Silence after loss isn't about denying or hiding from what happened. Rather, it's about giving yourself the time and space you need to process, to let your emotions unfold naturally without forcing an artificial conclusion. As Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." Number 6, when facing ignorance. We've all likely encountered people whose beliefs or actions show a profound ignorance or lack of understanding about a particular subject. Yet their conviction is as strong as if they were recognized experts. As frustrating as these situations can be, Stoicism advises us to respond with patience, wisdom, and grace. The iconic scientist Galileo Galilei provides a powerful example of how to navigate ignorance with dignity, even in the face of fierce opposition. Although his groundbreaking theory of heliocentrism, that the Earth orbits the Sun, was initially met with harsh criticism and even imprisonment, Galileo did not lash out angrily. Instead, he demonstrated a stoic resilience, choosing to respond to false accusations and insults largely with silence, maintaining his honor and dedication to scientific truth. This reflects a key Stoic principle from the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about how applying this perspective could change your approach the next time you encounter someone promoting blatantly incorrect views or information. Could silence and calm be more powerful and persuasive than heated arguments? Galileo understood that truth and reason need no defensiveness. They can withstand scrutiny through our quiet confidence in their validity. His silence was not weakness, but a statement of integrity and faith that his evidence would ultimately speak for itself over time. Being gracious in such situations means knowing the limits of your power and influence and carefully picking your battles. It involves patience, understanding that not everyone has the same knowledge and experiences that shape your views. This practice not only cultivates peace in your own life, but can provide a wiser vantage point, allowing you to see the bigger picture beyond momentary lapses in judgment or awareness. It's about taking the long view, where respect and success are earned gradually through quiet perseverance, not fruitless attempts at instant vindication. So, as you navigate ignorance in your own relationships and spheres, let Galileo's strength inspire you to consider the power of principled silence. Number 7, responding to rumors and gossip. We've all likely been the subject of rumors or baseless gossip at some point in our lives. Those whispered stories that seem to spread like wildfire, potentially damaging our reputations or creating immense stress. It's only natural to feel an urge to lash out and try to correct every false claim or detail. But Stoicism advises a more measured, strategic approach: responsive silence. As the philosopher Epictetus said, "If anyone should tell you that someone has spoken ill of you, do not make excuses about what was said, but answer, 'He was ignorant with my other faults,' or 'he would not have mentioned these alone.'" So the next time you find yourself in the crosshairs of unjust accusations or rumors, pause, breathe and access your grounded Stoic mindset. Discern with rationality and prudence which narratives merit your reasoned response and which you ought to simply let pass, unbothered. Then allow the testimony of your actions and adherence to virtue to stand as your most powerful defense. Your composed, intentional silence can disarm and even instruct those who labor in dishonor and mistruth. It gives truth the runway to reveal itself through contrast with such behavior. This Stoic philosophy can transform you into an unstoppable force of courage and righteousness in the face of attempts at character assassination. Number 8, when confronting injustice. Throughout history and in our own lives, we've all borne witness to injustice. In such moments, Stoic philosophy calls us to respond not with heated vengeance, but with a deeper, more resilient commitment to justice through disciplined silence. The extraordinary example of Nelson Mandela serves as an inspiring case study. Despite facing decades of unjust imprisonment for his anti-apartheid activism, Mandela emerged not filled with anger, but advocating reconciliation, peace and unity for all South Africans. His ability to stay resolute yet restrained, even when confronted with severe injustice, speaks to the profound wisdom of the Stoics. Mandela's path reminds us that our greatest power often lies in our ability to choose how we react to outside events and circumstances, no matter how unfair or unjust they may seem. By staying silent when faced with wrongdoing or oppression, we demonstrate the Stoic ideal that Marcus Aurelius described as not being like him who performed the injury. In other words, holding on to our virtues and principles rather than mirroring or escalating the injustice itself. Now, to be clear, a Stoic approach does not mean passive acceptance of injustice. Rather, it's about responding with a strategic, principled silence that equips us for pragmatic action, maintaining our inner stability so we can build a foundation for meaningful, lasting reform that uplifts society. Number 9. When facing insults or personal attacks. In our last situation, where we must be silent, we explore those moments when someone deliberately insults, belittles, or tries to provoke us with personal attacks, whether it's a family disagreement, workplace conflict, or an encounter with a rude stranger. In these heated situations, Stoic philosophy offers deep wisdom on using silence to disarm and rise above. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus gave us this insight. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. It's a wake-up call that when we're insulted, we get to choose how we react. This Stoic mindset is powerfully embodied in the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi, the renowned leader of the non-violent resistance movement for Indian independence. Throughout his advocacy, Gandhi faced harsh insults, slander, and even physical attacks from British colonial forces and others threatened by his message. Yet Gandhi's response exemplified the Stoic path. He met such provocations not with escalating anger or verbal retaliation, but with a disciplined, steadfast silence rooted in his philosophy of non-violence and civil disobedience. Gandhi understood that by staying outwardly calm yet inwardly resolved, he could often diffuse volatile situations and win over hearts and minds to his righteous cause. His silence conveyed an unshakable dignity and strength of purpose that ultimately made his detractors' efforts to provoke him seem small and inconsequential. When we lash out at those insulting us, we often create far more negative consequences than if we had simply kept quiet and prevented the conflict from escalating. This Stoic silence removes the other person's power to provoke a reaction. By staying quiet yet firmly resolved, we take the high road, denying the provoker the reaction they were hoping to elicit. This level of self-control and quiet stoicism elevates us, commanding respect while also modeling the wise path forward. If you found value in these Stoic lessons, I encourage you to put them into practice in your own life. And please, let me know in the comments section which of these 9 scenarios resonated most with you and your experiences. How have you seen the power of silence manifest, either positively or negatively? Your shared wisdom can be so insightful for all of us on this transformative path. If you're new here, subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell. I'll continue bringing you deep philosophical lessons and principles for living your best life with more peace, purpose, and fulfillment.